What's up, Grit on the Rocks Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Grit on the Rocks podcast, where we mix a little wisdom with a little whiskey and some unfiltered, no nonsense conversation. Today, we're going to be diving into 20 classic sayings that hold more truth than your ex's excuses. These are the words of wisdom your grandpa probably yelled at you, the quotes your mom used when she was mad, and the life lessons you probably ignored until you learned the hard way. So grab a drink, kick back, let's break down these, grit style. This is Grit on the Rocks podcast, a Buenos Dias Media production.
This podcast is a Buenos Dias Media production.
This is the Grit on the Rocks podcast, where raw conversations meet smooth sips. Pull up a chair, pour your favorite drink, puff on your favorite cigar, and join us as we dive into the convos that matter. No scripts, no barriers, just unfiltered truth served straight up. Cheers to the real ones out there. Salud.
All right. So let's start with, some of these heavy hitters. The ones that slap you in the face with reality like a bar tab after a long night. We all grow up listening to this. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. I remember as a kid, a lot of these, I heard a lot of these as a kid and so many more, especially in Spanish culture. Like I remember from my mom, from my grandma, aunts and uncles, my grandfather used to use a lot of these sayings. And to be honest, subconsciously, they start to stick in when you hear them enough. I know my son growing up heard a ton of these because, I think they hold so much wisdom. All you got to do is listen with intent, right? So let's go down the list. But first,
the views and opinions expressed by the host, guest, and/or participants of this show do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Buenos Dias Media LLC, its associates, partners, and show sponsors. The content is intended for entertainment purposes and should not be construed as professional advice. Listener discretion is advised.
So let's start with number one. We're going to go down through 20 of these. To be honest, I had like 40 of these, and then I decided let's cut it down to 20. But I had 40 originally because this is the 40th episode. I was like, let's go through 40, but I don't want to bore people. So let's start with number one. And it takes two to tango. Before I did this podcast episodes, I always thought it said it takes two to tango. Like dancing tango. But no, it takes two to tango. Now, that's not a typo, right? Because relationships, fights, business deals, if there's drama, it's rarely one-sided, unless you're arguing with yourself, in which case you got bigger problems. My mom always said, right, it's okay to talk to yourself. The problem is when you answer yourself. So let's go down to number two. Actions speak louder than words. You can talk a big game all you want, but if you're still living at your mom's basement, promising to start the business next year, yeah, we don't believe you, right? Actions do speak louder than words. Sometimes you hear people, especially now in society, where people love saying things to say things. They love to say what sounds virtuous. People just love virtue signaling, but their actions don't match what they're saying. And this is true. It's always been true, but it's going to continue being true. Actions will always speak louder than words. Make sure that what you say is backed up with what you do. Number three is you reap what you sow. If you spend your days being a jackass, don't be shocked when life hands you nothing but problems. Plant good seeds, get good results. It's just simple math. This one also, it's biblical, and I believe it to be very true. The sad part is that you see a lot of people sowing these seeds of being a jackass, of being jerks to people, and then they get upset when they reap what they sowed, and that's not what they expected. That's why they say, like, the golden rule is treat others as you would like to be treated. And then they try to introduce, and I've said this before, but they try to introduce the platinum rule, which is treat others as they want to be treated. No, people will reap what they sow. So how they treat people is how they should be treated. That's just the way life is. Number 4 is what goes around comes around. We all know that karma is undefeated. Be careful how you treat people, once again, or you might find yourself eating a microwave gas station burrito alone on Christmas. How you treat people, how you talk to people, what goes around comes around. What you put into this life, what you put out into the world, what you put on, when you put out to those who surround you, you're going to get it back one way or another. Number 5 is a friend in need is a friend indeed. If your so-called friend disappears every time you need help, but magically shows up when you have bottle service, when everything is all good and great, yeah, they ain't a friend. Everyone has seen this. Everyone has seen this. And this is something that is part of the street code also. When they talk about, in Spanish, they say, amigo un peso en el bolsillo, which is a friend is $1 in your pocket. And then they add, and if your pocket has a hole, then you lost a friend. I don't doubt that there's true friendships out there. I have friends that I've had for over 30 years. My wife also has friends from her childhood. So there are true friends out there. There are around in times of need. But I'm talking about those who claim to be your friends, and the moment things get difficult, they disappear. When I talk about street code, is that they say that, you have so many friends and you're surrounded by, when you're doing the wrong stuff, you live in this street life. And you have so many friends and you're surrounded by so many people until the moment you get locked up. Those friends stop coming around. Maybe there might be 1, maybe 2, but the rest, they disappear. So yeah, these aren't your friends. Pay attention to those who are truly there, because the problem is that sometimes people go all out for the people that are not there for them. And the people that are there for them, they mistreat them and don't appreciate them. And it's just this weird way of society that I don't understand. So pay attention to the patterns, pay attention to the signals and the flags of those who are true friends in your times of need. So now let's talk about hustle and grind sayings, right? Let's talk about work ethic. The sayings that remind us to put in the effort and not expect life to hand us free stuff. I'm going to say that again for all these new generations that think that the world owes them something. The sayings that remind us to put in the effort and not expect life to hand us free stuff. The world owes you nothing, right? So number 6 is the early bird catches the worm. Translation: get off your ass and go after what you want. The only thing waiting for you if you sleep is regret. Not that you won't sleep, but it's like 50 Cent said when he was questioned about how he was working on movies and an album and everything at the same time. And they asked him, don't you sleep? And he said, sleeping is for broke people. Doesn't mean you don't sleep. It means that some of you sleep way too much, figuratively and literally. Number 7, Rome wasn't built in a day. Success takes time. Your 6-pack abs, $1 million business, and perfect relationship aren't going to happen overnight unless you win the lottery. Then ignore this, right? Now you have everything solved, and how you manage it from there on is a different situation. But yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day. Good things take time. Like they say, what is it? Good things come to those who wait. Doesn't mean you're waiting with your arms crossed or sleeping. Is working, putting the effort, putting in that hustle while waiting patiently. Number 8 is practice makes perfect. Now they want to change it to practice makes progress, but Back then it was said practice makes perfect unless you're a surgeon. And let's hope you already close to perfect before practice. Now, they say that practice makes progress because there's no such thing as perfection, right? But what that means is practice, 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 repetitions in everything, in business, in life, in relationships, at work. Practice. Let's translate practice into repetitions, repetitions, and you will see progress. All right. Number 9 is knowledge is power. The more you learn, the less likely you are to fall for pyramid schemes or get scammed by investment opportunities. We've all heard, right? On Instagram. Knowledge is one of the assets you invest in and no one can take away. Sadly, this is one of the investments most people don't want to invest in. A lot of people say they want to do. And when it comes to investing in their knowledge, investing in themselves, they refuse to pay up. And, I've seen this also with people who are entrepreneurs at heart, but refuse to put their money where their mouth is, meaning they're not willing to invest in themselves, but want everyone else to take a risk on them. That makes no sense. So invest in your knowledge, invest in yourself, self-help, self-development, whatever you want to call it. Read, buy books, get into courses that really add value to you. This is all knowledge that no one can take away from you. Number 10, no pain, no gain. Growth hurts. That's a reality. Whether it's in the gym, your bank account, or life in general. If you're not struggling at least a little, you're probably not improving. So let's take a quick break to hear from one of our supporters. When we get back, we're going to go down a few more that speak to the dumb decisions and life regrets. Don't go away. This is Grit on the Rocks podcast, a Buenos Dias media production.
Looking to connect with like-minded men who share your drive for success and passion for the finer things in life? Welcome to the Apex Gentlemen's Guild, a private members club for men who value ambition, camaraderie, giving back, and personal growth. For a limited time while we're fully remote, you can join the guild for free. Gain access to tons of motivational content, exclusive events, insightful discussions, and a network of high-performance individuals. Don't miss this chance to elevate your social circle. Request to join today at facebook.com/groups/Apex Gentlemen's Guild or give us a like at facebook.com/Apex Gentlemen's Guild. The Apex Gentlemen's Guild, excellence forged in unity.
So I just want to encourage all you men out there to go to Facebook, find Apex Gentlemen's Guild, like the page, and you got to look for the private group. There's two. There's like a like page where everyone can join, and then there's a private page for members only where you can request. You have to answer a few questions, and you request to join. And they have tons of motivational content. They have conversations amongst each other to help each other, build each other, talk through problems, through vulnerability, all that camaraderie amongst men. You can find it there at the Apex Gentlemen's Guild, the private group. Okay. All right. So now let's continue here with the dumb decisions and life regrets. Let's get into ones that remind us why making dumb choices comes with the word that most people ignore, consequences. So number 11 is don't put all your eggs in one basket. Whether it's money, relationships, or trusting that one buddy to book your flights, always have a backup plan. I never really got this one until I became older and I started getting into the whole investment world and stuff. And I kept hearing, don't put all your eggs in a basket, meaning don't put all your money into like one company, or if you're investing in different companies, or if you're building a business or buying a business, or don't put all your options in one thing. In life, You can't put all your options into one thing. We all get in, sometimes we fall in love and we have relationships, and you can't put all your happiness into this one person, right? You have to have, this is why we have hobbies. This is why we have outlets where we, use our creativity and do other things on our own aside from our spouse. Not that we don't do things with our spouse, because, if you're like me, I love doing things with my wife and I love spending time with her and et cetera, et cetera. But I also have my things that I love to do on my own. This podcast being one of them. And she also has things that she likes to do on her own or with her friends, and I'm not included. And that's great. I mean, you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. Number 12 is you can't have your cake and eat it too. Meaning that you can't be out partying every night and still expect to be rich and successful. I mean, unless you're a rapper or something like that, right? But in the real world, you have to be willing to pay a price. At one point or another, we trade off one thing for something else that we need. Self-explanatory, right? You have to be willing to pay the price. You can't wish I had this. I wish I had a big bank account. I wish I had, let's use that example. I wish I had a big bank account, but you don't want to save money. You don't want to stretch your money now. You don't want to not buy this now because later on you want this. You want that instant gratification. That's a problem, my friends. So that's why they say you can't have your cake and eat it too. Number 13 is curiosity killed the cat. This is for the guy who checked their girl's DMs and then get mad when they find out something they weren't ready for. I mean, I hate this example, but yeah, curiosity. If you're not ready to find something out, don't seek it. I mean, I hate this example because this shouldn't even be a thing. There should be nothing to hide, right? Just like you as a man, you shouldn't have anything to hide from your significant other. You shouldn't have anything to hide in life that you don't want the world to know, because there are curious cats out there, and curiosity killed the cat, but it also affects those holding, right, the information or whatever it is, whatever the cat found, can hurt also those holding what the cat found. So yeah, don't seek things you're not ready to learn or hear or see, right? 14 is the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. If your dad was a hustler, odds are you're out there making moves. If your dad still lives in your mom's basement, well, good luck. Us real dads put ourselves in uncomfortable situations. We push ourselves further than we normally would just to set an example for our kids. Because if you have a dad that was laid back and never really did anything, you're probably going to struggle in life until you break that cycle. And this is very true when it says breaking the cycle, right? Because according to this, I was supposed to be a deadbeat dad. I was supposed to be nothing if I would have stood as an apple, if I would have stood close to my tree. That's what I would have been. And thankfully, I thank God for this. I decided to break the cycle very early on in my life. I identified what I didn't like from my father in this case. And I intentionally decided to do the opposite. Granted, yes, there were periods in my life that I flowed with the river, let's say. I flowed with the stream that was carrying me. But thankfully, I noticed, hey, I'm going along with this stream and this is not what I want. This is not who I'm going to be. And I decided to go against the currents. I decided to get out the water and break that cycle and do something totally different with my life. So this is why I say, as a real dad, we put ourselves in uncomfortable situations. And we push ourselves a little more than we probably would have just to set an example for our children. Number 15 is easy come, easy go. That's the motto of anyone who has ever blown their paycheck at the casino thinking they had a system. Also, those who make easy money have no issue with blowing their money. That's just how it is. You know, it's why you see people making money illegally and all of a sudden they live these extravagant lives and buy these nonsensical items. You know, some people that make easy money, I don't know, in different ways. And they have no problem blowing that money because they didn't work hard for it. They don't understand or they don't see it as a sacrifice. I can always make more. That's why it says here, they think that they had a system. Oh, I have a system. I can make this right back. So they don't mind blowing their check, their money, their savings, because they always think that their system will get that back to them. All right. So let's take a break from this list and get into some whiskey bar wisdom.
Whiskey bar wisdom. Ooh.
All right. There's nothing magical about it. Here, drink this. Tell me what's on your mind. Come on.
Whiskey bar wisdom. You provide the stories. We provide the opinions. Unprofessional advice and the laughter. Grit on the Rocks podcast.
Okay, so this whiskey bar submission comes from Mike. That's it. That's all he put. Hey guys, love the show. So last year, I ignored the saying, don't bite the hand that feeds you. I was working for my uncle, making easy money. But I got cocky and thought I could do better. I quit without a backup plan, talking all kinds of trash about how I was going to start my own business. Fast forward 6 months, I was broke, back living with my mom, and had to ask my uncle for my job back. He said yes, but not before making me clean porta potties for a month first. Lesson learned. I don't know what to say to this because just because you might, maybe in reality, I don't agree with the trash talking. I agree with having options open and dreaming and maybe, you truly believe that you were going to have your own business. And I think that's great. But the trash talking is unnecessary because there's also a saying that says that you shouldn't burn your bridges because you never know when you might have to cross them again. So by trash talking, Mike, you burned your bridges even though you were lucky they threw you a life raft or whatever to help you cross. But yeah, it's okay to have options. It's okay to have dreams. It's okay to take a leap of faith if you truly have a plan and truly believe in yourself and you have everything in place. It's okay to take the leap and maybe leave your job, even if it's with your uncle making easy money. Even though the best way to do it is build the business while you're making easy money with your uncle. That's what I believe. But yeah, don't burn your bridges in the process. That never works well for anyone. All right, so let's finish strong with some sayings that will help you navigate life a little better. And we jump into number 16, that it says, the truth will set you free, but it might also get you punched in the face. So choose your honesty wisely. No, but the truth is the truth will set you free. There's a deeper message to this that I'm not going to get into now, but I believe that truth is the way, man. A lot of people I've seen a lot of people get ahead by lying and working, the systems in different ways. And I just can't do it. I don't feel good about myself doing things that way or, taking advantage of other people so that I can get ahead. I don't believe in that. So let's just stick to that. The truth will set you free, man. Be honest. All right. Number 17, silence is golden. Some things don't need to be said. Like telling your wife she looks fine instead of amazing, rookie mistake. No. But silence is golden. Something that I have learned reading books of like successful people and their habits is a wise man doesn't say much, right? It's good to be a listener when you're sitting amongst a group of people, of let's say high performing people. The best thing is to be quiet. Silence is golden. Just listen. Listen. But also, it applies to, yes, not everything needs to be said. Sometimes the best thing is to just say nothing. Number 18, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. This is what we say when our buddy's dating someone we don't find attractive. No, but in reality, yes, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. That is true. That is very true. There are many things. Looking at it like in the male, female attraction type thing, I find some women attractive and beautiful that I tell my wife, like, speaking of celebrities, and I'll say like, I don't know, that person is kind of hot. She's like, what are you looking at? So yes, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But also, aside from people, there's also things that we might find beautiful and things that we might find interesting that everybody's looking at you like, what's wrong with you? So yeah. Number 19 is time is money. So stop wasting it. If you're binge watching Netflix for 6 hours a day and complaining about being broke, yep, that's on you. This is very true. Time is money, man. Time is money. And time is something that you never get back. So it's wise to invest it the best way possible. Invest it wisely. All right. So number 20 and the last one is that where there's a will, there's a way. If you really want something, you'll find a way to make it happen. If not, you will find excuses. So true, self-explanatory. And that's a wrap up. So if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and Rumble. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Give us a follow at Grit on the Rocks. And remember to submit your story for Whiskey Bar Wisdom or Barstool Banter, or you just want to send us some mail and just chat with us and, have us read it on the show. Go ahead. Go to gritontheRocks.com, scroll down to our Contact Us section. And hey, if you're a brand looking to get your name out there and sponsor our show, we're taking on sponsors for the show. And also our individual segments like Whiskey Bar Wisdom and Barstool Banter and Hero of the Day and Mail, Fail, or Meh, right? So just go to gritontheRocks.com and again, scroll down to the bottom to our Contact Us section and send us a message, as well as if you just want your logo, right, your brand featured on our website, also send us a message and we'll get back we'll get right back to you. All right. So this is Grit on the Rocks, a Buenos Dias media production. Remember to always keep your spirits high, your cigars lit, your glasses full, and your conversations meaningful. Till next time, my brothers and sisters, cheers.
Grit on the rocks tonight, met with hearts like